I would first like to say that I'm 100% innocent of this crime. Furthermore, I don't believe I received a fair trial.
In the tranquil embrace of Acme, Washington, a tight-knit rural haven nestled amid lush fields and the meandering Nooksack River, 8-year-old Mandy Stavik embodies the spirit of youthful promise and community warmth. Home from her freshman year at Central Washington University for Thanksgiving 1989, she savors the simple joys, a hearty family meal filled with laughter, the crisp autumn air on her skin during her routine jogs, and the loyal companionship of her German shepherd, Kyra. Mandy, with her infectious smile and boundless energy, is the girl everyone admires, a star basketball player, cheerleader, and aspiring pilot who dreams big and achieves even bigger. As she laces up her running shoes on that fateful November 24 afternoon, waving goodbye to her mother Mary with a quick, "I'll be back soon," the world seems perfect, doors unlocked, and neighbors like family. But in a shocking moment that shatters this idyll, Mandy vanishes mid-run, her dog returning alone, drenched and distressed, barking frantically at the door as dusk falls. This abrupt disappearance unleashes a terror that will haunt Acme for decades, transforming a peaceful paradise into a landscape of suspicion and sorrow. If you're captivated by true crime narratives that delve into the heart of small-town secrets and unbreakable resolve, stay with me as we uncover the layers of this enduring mystery. But to grasp the full horror of that vanishing, we must immerse ourselves in the frantic hours that followed, where hope clings desperately amid rising dread. The alarm surges through the Stavik household like an electric shock. Mary Stavik, Mandy's devoted mother, glances at the clock for the umpteenth time, her heart pounding with an unfamiliar unease. It's been hours since Mandy set out around 2:30 p.m. for her familiar 5-mile loop along Strand Road, a serene path flanked by open pastures and the gentle flow of the Nooksack River. Kyra had bounded back alone, her fur matted with river water, whining and pawing at the door as if urging someone to follow. "Where's Mandy?" Mary murmurs, her voice trembling as she dials friends and neighbors. The dog had returned, but Mandy hadn't, a detail that ignites immediate panic in this community where such routines are as reliable as the sunrise. Word spreads swiftly in Acme, where everybody knows each other and the response is instantaneous. Neighbors, bundled against the chilling November evening, grab flashlights, coats, and determination, forming search parties that fan out along the roads, through dense woods, and beside the riverbanks. "Mandy! Mandy!" Their voices echo into the darkening sky, laced with growing desperation. Helicopters thrum overhead, their spotlights piercing the twilight, while divers plunge into the cold waters. Volunteers from the local diner and general store join in, their faces etched with worry. This isn't just a missing person, it's one of their own, the bright-eyed girl who lit up high school games and community gatherings. The first 48 hours unfold in a blur of organized chaos. Checkpoints set up, flyers printed with Mandy's smiling photo, and please broadcast on local radio. Yet, as night deepens, an undercurrent of fear creeps in, whispers of foul play, the unimaginable lurking in their safe haven. 3 agonizing days later, on the 27th of November, 1989, the search yields its devastating find. Detective Ron Peterson, a seasoned officer and father himself, leads a team upstream in a Zodiac boat, navigating the South Fork of the Nooksack River. The water runs clear but cold, murmuring secrets as they round a bend into a quieter side channel. There, something pink catches Peterson's eye amid the gentle current. Mandy's body, floating face down, clad only in her tennis shoes and socks. As he carefully rolls her over, a gasp escapes him. She resembles his own daughter so strikingly that emotion floods his professional resolve. "I've got you," he whispers softly, cradling her form to preserve any evidence, his hands steady despite the inner turmoil. The scene is solemn, the river's banks silent witnesses to the tragedy. Transported for autopsy, the examination reveals horrors, signs of sexual assault with male semen present, blunt force trauma to the head that likely knocked her unconscious, and drowning as the cause of death. Scratches mar her arms and legs, evoking images of a desperate flight through thorny blackberry bushes, thorns like claws tearing at her skin in a futile bid for freedom. Shock ripples through Acme like a seismic wave. At the diner, patrons huddle over coffee, tears flowing freely as they process the unthinkable. "We were in shock. People were crying," one resident recalls, the collective grief palpable. Mandy's mother, Mary, grapples with a pain that rips you to pieces, her proclaimed strength a fragile mask. The community, once defined by unlocked doors and mutual trust, now confronts a chilling reality: a killer walks among them. There was a killer out there somewhere, echoes in hushed tones, fueling paranoia. Will this predator strike again? The uncertainty hangs heavy, transforming everyday interactions into scans for suspicion. In those initial 48 hours and beyond, the emotional toll is immense. Fear mingles with resolve, as volunteers persist, driven by love for Mandy and terror for their own. Yet, to truly comprehend the void left by this atrocity, we must rewind to the vibrant life Mandy led, the relationships that shaped her, and the hidden undercurrents in Acme that set the stage for such darkness. Mandy Stavik's story begins in the heart of Acme, a minuscule Washington community where life unfolds with the predictability of seasons, neighbors exchanging waves from porches, families gathering at the local diner for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, and shopping at the general store, fostering bonds that feel unbreakable. Born on the 16th of April 1971, Amanda Teresa Mandy Stavik grows up immersed in this idyllic setting, the younger daughter of Mary Stavik and her husband, whose eventual divorce tests the family's resilience. From childhood, Mandy radiates an extraordinary vitality. She's not just participating in life, but excelling her ambition, a beacon for those around her. At Mount Baker High School, Mandy becomes a legend in her own right. As a basketball player donning jersey number 13, she dazzles on the court with agility and determination, her cheers as a squad member uplifting the entire school spirit. Academically, she's at the top of her class, her intellect sharp and curiosity boundless. Dreams of soaring as an airline pilot fuel her studies, a goal that reflects her fearless nature. Her coach, David Freeman, steps in as a paternal figure post-divorce, mentoring her both athletically and personally. In a touching card from her senior year, Mandy expresses profound gratitude. For David Freeman, the one person who has inspired and influenced me more than anyone, thank you, you're the greatest. Most sincerely, Mandy Stavik, class of '89. Freeman, delivering her eulogy later, remembers her smile that pierces right at your soul with eyes that say, I love life. Mary Stavik, Mandy's mother, recalls her daughter as larger than life, a force who wanted to do everything, to be very good at everything she did, and she was. Older sister Molly Brighton echoes this, noting Mandy's accomplishments in her short time on Earth. Enrolling at Central Washington University in 1989, Mandy thrives in her new environment, forming friendships and embracing independence while maintaining close ties to home. That Thanksgiving break feels like a warm reunion. The family savors a festive meal, laughter echoing through their home on Strand Road. The next day, November 24, Mandy opts for her routine jog with Kyra, a habit that keeps her grounded amid college excitement. Little does anyone know, this ordinary act will unravel everything. Acme itself plays a pivotal role in this narrative, a place of profound safety, where you have that feeling of safety, keep your doors unlocked. Residents shop at the general store, dine together, and foster a sense of invincibility against the outside world. Yet, beneath this veneer, subtle fissures exist. Timothy Forrest Bass, born around 1968, grows up nearby on the same road, in a family well regarded by the community. With his younger brother Tom, often referred to as Andrew in some accounts, but consistently Tom in trial records, Timothy shares a competitive childhood, playing sports and paling around. However, Timothy emerges as a loner, his social interactions strained and unnatural. A harrowing incident in his teens, firing a gun during a breakup, despair hints at deeper emotional instability. His views on women sour over time, marked by disgust and a belief in their inferiority, as noted by family. At 22, just 6 weeks after Mandy's murder, Timothy marries Gina Malone, also known as Laura in some reports, another Mount Baker graduate. Their union is far from blissful. Gina describes it as an escape from home that turns into a prison of control and emotional abuse. Go get me a drink, go make me food, he commands, treating her like a servant. Witnesses, including Tom and his wife Robin, observe Timothy's repeated dismissals. Shut up, he'd snap, millions of times by their count. Gina endures for their 3 children, terrified by threats to lie in court and strip her of custody. Anything with my kids, I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna do whatever I have to do, she later testifies, her voice laced with lingering fear. Psychologically, Timothy's profile paints a picture of isolation and entitlement. His awkwardness alienates peers, and post-high school, he settles into a quiet life as a bakery delivery driver, blending into the background. Mandy, with her outgoing runs past his home, might have unwittingly become an object of fixation, her vitality contrasting his reclusiveness, stirring obsessions that simmer unchecked. No overt connections link them publicly, but the proximity breeds opportunity and hindsight. This backdrop of intertwined lives, Mandy's luminosity against Timothy's shadow, sets a tense stage. As the community basks in its perceived security, hidden dynamics brew, leading inexorably to that tragic jog. The emotional undercurrents are profound. Mary's unwavering love for her daughter, the coach's mentorship born of care, Gina's trapped resilience, all human elements that amplify the impending devastation. With this foundation laid, the investigation's arduous path emerges, a labyrinth of clues and frustrations that tests the limits of perseverance in this true crime chronicle. The Whatcom County Sheriff's Office launches into action with urgency in those pivotal first 48 hours, a period critical in any true crime case where evidence is freshest and memories sharpest. Deputies swarm the scene, interviewing the scant witnesses who glimpsed Mandy on her westbound run along Strand Road. The last sighting comes from a pickup truck driver who watches her pass just an eighth of a mile from home, heading around a bend toward safety, or so it seems. Investigators reconstruct her route meticulously, starting from her house down to the west side, a path she knows like the back of her hand. She always started from the house here and then ran down westbound. Detective Kevin Bohe later recounts, piecing together fragments from those brief encounters. The abduction theory solidifies quickly. Mandy, an agile runner, couldn't be caught on foot. A vehicle must have been involved. By a weapon, that's what they used to gain control, and I believe it was a gun, Bohe posits, envisioning the assailant, pointing it and barking, "Get in." Compliant under threat, Mandy enters while Kyra is kicked into a ditch, explaining the dog's solo return. The assault occurs about 3.5 miles away, in a secluded spot where scratches on her body suggest a frantic escape attempt through blackberry thorns, big, vicious ones that tear flesh. Oh my God, she was running away through the blackberries, an investigator realizes, the image evoking her terror. Caught, she's struck unconscious and placed in the river to drown, ensuring silence. Evidence preservation becomes paramount. Detective Ron Peterson, fresh from FBI DNA training, handles Mandy's body with care, fearing water erosion. That was the biggest fear of mine, how to get her out without disturbing it, he admits. The autopsy yields male semen, a DNA profile entered into nascent databases. But in 1989, technology lags, no matches emerge. Tips pour in, focusing on that person that's strange or odd, that doesn't quite fit. James Succi, a local drifter spotted nearby, submits DNA via warrant cleared. Mandy's boyfriend, Rick Zender, is scrutinized and eliminated. Even drug dealer William Willie Wisniewski, boasting knowledge, is tested and ruled out after a 2010 Cambodia trip where Bohe senses deception but lacks proof. I thought he was a good liar, Bohe reflects, frustration mounting. Over 2 decades, the case chills, a dark cloud over Acme. It was like an assault on all of us. Residents lament, innocence lost as locks appear and jogs shorten. Mary Stavik's hope fades. I just really didn't have any hope. Yet, Bohe, a high school contemporary of Mandy's, persists from 2009, scouring files for overlooked leads. You've got to keep working, keep persistent, keep going, he vows. DNA sweeps of 30 local men yield nothing. The Bass family, well-liked, escapes scrutiny. It wouldn't be this family because they're well-liked. Early investigators assume a oversight that prolongs the agony. False leads abound, building excruciating tension. Wisniewski's reiterations of ignorance ring hollow, but feelings aren't evidence. Surveillance on Bass in 2013, after his feigned forgetfulness, Mandy Stavik? Oh yeah, the girl in the river and DNA refusal fails when he discards nothing. I watch those crime shows, I see how many people go to prison because they've given DNA, he quips, heightening suspicion. The emotional strain on investigators is palpable. Peterson, haunted by the recovery, carries the weight like a personal loss. In this 48 hours of initial frenzy and the years of stagnation that follow, the community's psyche fractures, fear of recurrence, grief's relentless grip. Mary's quiet strength masks inner turmoil, while Bohe's doggedness keeps the flame alive. Mandy Stavik's dead, but this case was not going to die, he declares. The investigation's slow grind underscores the psychological toll. Doubt creeps in, yet hope flickers, awaiting that improbable break. What unexpected twist could shatter decades of silence? Share your theories below as we approach the revelation that redefines everything in this gripping true crime account. The breakthrough materializes in the most ordinary setting, a sunny June 2013 day at Birch Bay Water Park, where moms Heather Backstrom, often Jessica in reports, and Marilee Anderson, Rebecca, chat idly on the grass, kids splashing nearby. Both Mount Baker High alumni, their conversation drifts to Mandy's lingering mystery. I'm sure I know who killed her, Heather confides. Merrily startles, I do too. Simultaneously, they utter Timothy Bass, unleashing suppressed suspicions that propel the case forward. Their accounts reveal unsettling patterns in Bass's behavior, contradictions to his unassuming facade. Heather, at 15 inches summer, 1,989 months before Mandy's death, recalls a post-softball Dairy Queen trip where Bass, in his 20 seconds, sits beside her in a crowded truck. He fixates on her eyes, calling them beautiful, then traces a pen along her knee, exposed by cut-off sweatpants. I was very nervous, she admits, the intrusion a red flag of predatory intent. Marilee's 1,991 ordeal is more brazen. Alone with her young son, she answers a knock to find Bass claiming hunting fatigue and needing her phone. Dialing yields a disconnected tone, a ruse. He invades her bedroom, confessing long-standing love from driving by, demanding intimacy. Terrified, she threatens police. He relents, but leaves her shaken. To accuse someone in a small town is scary. Marilee explains her silence, fear of backlash stifling action until this fateful chat. The tip reaches Detective Ken Gates, another alum. Bass's home, less than 2 miles from Mandy's and along her route, screams opportunity. Yet his family's repute shielded them initially. They looked at it like, no, it wouldn't be this family, Bohe notes. Bass, now 50-ish, lives quietly nearby, married with 3 kids, driving for Fran's Bakery. A 2013 visit yields denial. He barely recalls Mandy, refuses DNA, citing TV-inspired paranoia. Surveillance on his night route, hoping for discarded items, yields zilch, stalling again. Deeper probes expose Bass's psyche. Tom's tales of competitiveness turning toxic, the gun-firing breakup episode signaling volatility. Social interactions never really been natural to him, Tom observes. Robin, Tom's wife, notes Bass's misogyny. He really thinks women are inferior. Gina's testimony paints control, servant-like demands, emotional abuse, threats during her brief escape. It didn't feel like a marriage. I felt like I went into a prison, she reveals, staying for kids amid custody fears. The DNA coup comes via bakery manager Kim Wagner. Informed of the probe, she recalls Bass's oddity. Volatile moods calling her woman demeaningly. Offering help, she monitors for discards. Months pass emptying trash to isolate items until the 10th of August 2017. Bass tosses a plastic cup and Coke can. Heart racing amid coworkers, she snags them, stashing in her drawer before delivery. This is a jackpot, she thinks, pulse thundering. Lab confirmation, match to Mandy's semen. Katie from the crime lab says, we've got a match, Bohe recounts, disbelief yielding to tears. Arrested the 12th of December 2017, 28 years later, Bass shifts stories. Denying relations, then claiming secret intimacy. It was more of a friendship, grew into more of a physical thing. No corroboration, it's a fabrication, clashing with his earlier amnesia. Truth dawns, obsessed from watching her jog. Bass abducted, assaulted, and killed to conceal. Post-arrest, he begs alibis, blaming his dead father, urging Tom to claim relations with Mandy to tarnish her, pleading shopping excuses with Mom. I need a strong alibi or I'm going to prison, he confesses, desperation unmasking guilt. This revelation stuns. The unassuming neighbor harbored lethal darkness. Emotional fallout intensifies Mary's birthday arrest, news a bittersweet gift, community betrayal raw. As trial nears, contradictions crystallize, paving a path to accountability. With the truth laid bare, the courtroom becomes the arena for final reckoning, where justice confronts denial in a climax of raw emotion. The 2019 trial in Whatcom County Superior Court unfolds over 9 gripping days, a culmination of nearly 3 decades' pursuit. Prosecutor Dave McEachran, 73 and emeritus, insists on leading unpaid. She was such a good kid, it just shouldn't have happened. The state hammers DNA is incontrovertible. Bass's semen inside Mandy, abduction via gunpoint, assault, head blow, drowning. She was abducted, she was raped, and she was killed, McEachran asserts, evoking her terror. Defense counters with consensual sex, no struggle signs, semen possibly from days prior per expert. Dr. Victoria Johnson, most consistent is hours to a day, up to 48 hours. Attorney Matthew Jackson urges, evidence of sexual contact is not evidence of rape. Bass's interrogation claims affair, but inconsistencies abound, initial forgetfulness morphing to intimacy. Why would his story evolve? Because he's making it up. prosecutors argue. Testimonies peel layers. Wagner, terrified yet resolute, details the cup divided by can retrieval. I wanted to do the right thing for Mandy. Gina exposes abuse, servant commands, divorce threats. Tom recounts Bass's pleas, blame dad, fabricate relations to make it look like she got around. You believe me, right? Bass presses, Tom's silence damning. Even Bass's mom denies his schemes, her testimony strained. Jurors deliberate intensely, maps charting routes, posters listing evidence. Doubts linger, quarter question reasonable doubt on relations, but consensus forms. The 24th of May 2019, guilty on murder, rape, kidnapping. Relief floods. Mary's embrace with family, tears of vindication. Such a relief, she sighs. Sentencing June 2019. Base, unrepentant, I'm 100% innocent, gets nearly 27 years, maximum without premeditation charge. Judge condemns. For 30 years, you have lived free, but that life has been a lie. Bass's family grapples mom's denial, Tom's agony testifying against kin. Emotions peak, Mary's closure, they've got the guy, yet grief endures. My family will never be healed, Molly's husband relays. Community heals, safety reclaimed, but scars remain. Lessons profound. DNA's power in cold cases. Speaking suspicion's importance, persistence's triumph. In this true crime epic, spanning the first 48 hours frenzy to 28-year resolution, resilience shines amid darkness. Mandy's light persists, a reminder. Justice, though delayed, prevails. For more enthralling true crime explorations that capture the essence of 48 hours of turmoil and decades of determination, subscribe now and hit notifications. Dive deeper into stories that grip the soul and illuminate the human spirit.